Well, hi, you guys. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. And I'm kind of excited tonight because I've done several stories from my new hometown of Townsend, Montana. But this is the first time I've had three lions on the show. Yeah, we have lions in Townsend, Montana. I know you don't think about Montana as lion country. You think about mountain lions. You probably think I'm going to bring, well, I will never say that. They're all going to smile. Mountain lions. But I am going to introduce you to three Lions Club members. And they're putting on a big Perch Derby this weekend. And when I saw this on the Southwestern Montana visitor site, I was like, oh, this is too cool. Because when we moved here, when Kathy and I came here, we were looking at houses. And I saw some ice fishermen out there. And I was like, what in the hell is that? And they said, those are ice fish. And I saw trucks like, F-150s and bigger parked out on the ice. And I thought, I want to do that someday. So one of the people is going to be on our show in a moment, her husband, Joe, my neighbors. He took Kathy and me out there. I'm going to show you that story in just a second. But first, I want to thank our sponsors, Chris Dental Family Dentistry and Denture Center. Michael Bratland now has a denturist on staff there in Eugene. And they can do all the work that you need. And he's a big supporter of freedom. He's a big supporter of people's involvement. He's a huge supporter of using your voice. And Michael's not afraid to say anything, and that's why he's one of our sponsors. Our other sponsor is another very vocal person, Matt McCarl at New Leaf Hyperbarics and Wellness Center. If you've never done hyperbarics, you need to try it. It's awesome. It is the best hour of your life. You're laying there in oxygen-soaked tank. And then he also does light therapy, which is one of my favorites. And those of you folks in Oregon right now, you might need a little light therapy because there's some of that, seasonal affected disorder that's going on right now. Here in Montana, I'm not bragging, but we don't have that because we have snow and that can cause a disorder. In fact, we have some really cold weather coming this weekend. And later this week, I'm going to have Brian McSimmons from Polson, Montana, a former Oregon weatherman, who's going to be on and talking about this cold front that's coming towards us this weekend. And also Rob, Bait and Tackle Rob's going to be on Thursday as well. Bill London will be here with your news. But tonight we're going to take you ice fishing. So hold on and be careful.
So it's the scariest part when you drive onto the actual lake?
Yeah, or we got to get across that pressure ridge, so we'll see where people have gone. And probably the same about anywhere, but this is somebody's ice house. That's a chubby chaser.
So that's a little ice house that they take out and tow out into the lake.
I suppose.
Are you wanted, like on the FBI's most wanted list?
Not that I'm really aware of, but
So why ice fishing?
Not sitting at home.
correct. Not sitting at home. It's an enjoyable thing to do. Enjoy fishing and being out.
Fresh air.
Did your mom tell you when you were a kid that you can't walk on water?
No, she knew I could.
Yeah, we're gonna camp out of this now. This is gonna be our kind of setup.
Well, you guys are kind of spoiled in here, actually.
Well,
I mean,
buy all the right stuff.
I'm thinking, man, these tough ice fishermen, and I'm coming in here, and this is like the Benson Hotel, you know?
We didn't even put the floor down today.
and that is the art of ice fishing. And joining me now, this is Angie. Here's Kim and Leanne, all members of the Townsend Lions Club. So you guys are doing a Perch Derby this weekend. What? Tell any one of you. Just pipe in. What is this?
Go ahead, Kim.
Well, what we do is we have an individual event and we have a team event, and we have prize monies of money. A lot of places will do different sorts of prizes, but we only do money. But it's an individual event on Saturday where the adults and the kids get to go out and see if they can get the biggest perch or walleye. And this year we have the wee fish. And then on Sunday, it's a 3-person team event. So it changes it up quite a bit. And the money is quite a bit bigger because we do a Calcutta with that. So it's just a fundraiser for the Lions Club that we do.
And how many people usually show up to this? Because I drove by today. There's a ton of folks out there on the lake all the time fishing.
Correct. Last year we had 321 adults and 50 child on Saturday. And on Sunday we had 67 3-person teams.
So Angie, how much is it if I want to participate?
Saturday is $20 for the adults, and children are $10. And then on Sunday, a team event is $90 per team.
So do any donuts from the Moose Bakery come with that thing that you own? That I found out today, you are the big donut queen, and I don't mean big. I just mean you are the donut queen of Townsend, Montana.
I am the donut lady of Townsend for sure. No, I don't. We're closed on Sunday and Monday, so I'll have the opportunity to go out and spend all day helping the Lions Club with this event.
So Leanne, my wife was asking me the other day, and I already know this, but I think other people don't. What's the big thing for the Lions Club? What you guys are really into?
Eyeglasses, hearing aids, just helping elderly or anybody that can't afford the hearing aids or the eyeglasses. They just have to send in an application and it gets reviewed. And I don't think there's anyone that's ever been turned down.
So in a small town, how important are service clubs? Because I know they're losing some of in the bigger cities, like in Oregon, where I came from, not as many people are joining those clubs and a part of that. How big a deal is that for a small town like Townsend, Montana?
I think it's very important. And we're not, left out of any of that. I mean, we're losing members and stuff. We can't acquire any more new members, but we're kind of holding our own. And it just, it's very important that, we support each other and our community. In the wintertime, we have, matter of fact, we just finished it up, our senior light tour, and we take the seniors in a bus and they go look at the Christmas lights. We serve them dinner and they just love it. I mean, it's a good way to stay in contact with everyone.
So Angie, you came here from Florida.
I did.
And how many years ago and why?
23 years ago. We moved here in 2000. We had purchased property here, and my husband's job kind of put us in the northwest corner of the United States. And so we decided to settle into Montana.
And then when did you start the bakery?
I started the bakery in 2005. This year will be 18 years for us.
So Kim, what's something Kim used to own the Commercial Bar, which is one of the bars in town. She and her husband owned that. So what is this town? So for my Oregon viewers and people that are from outside the area, and even, I'm finding interesting. I'm going to do a little sidetrack here. Somebody, Jeannie Steele, a realtor in town, wrote the other day on something that I wrote. She says, I love watching what you're doing because you're giving me a fresh perspective of seeing the place where I live. I'm used to it. And now I'm seeing kind of little things that everybody kind of goes, well, duh, Rick. But it's through a different eyes because for us, for Kathy and me, this is all new and charming and interesting and really cool. What is Townsend, Montana? If you were to define it, what keeps it together?
Well, I think the community keeps it together. We have a very close-knit community, which it's always getting bigger and bigger, where everyone used to know everyone, and now that it's bigger, I think the things that we do as a community, if someone needs help, you're right there. The different organizations, the Rotary Club, the Lions Club, do so many different events to help anyone and everyone to keep it going. You do the Slice of Summer, that's a combined event, the Fall Fest, different things. But I think we have good people in our community that appreciate where we live, the hunting, the fishing, the skiing, any kind of outdoor activity you can do. And we welcome a lot of the people from out of state, if they're decent, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it took me 6 months to let you. I had to jump through all kinds of hoops. So Leanne, what and if or anybody can answer this, but I'm just thinking because Leanne hasn't talked for a second. What scares, and I don't mean scare in a bad way, but what is hesitating? What makes people in Montana or places like Townsend hesitate about new people coming in?
Changing our way of life. I myself am very protective. I love the outdoors. I love the openness. I love the small town. Like Kim said, that we all help each other, and it seems like we lose that when I guess I refer to Bozeman. They've lost a lot of that small town togetherness, and I guess I fear that we're going to lose that.
Angie, as a business person, Angie, that must be kind of weird, because we want some growth, maybe a little bit of growth, so the businesses are booming and doing well. But yet, if I loved when they did a survey with the high school kids, and they said one of the top things they said in that survey was they didn't want a fast food chain restaurant in Townsend, Montana. And I just cheered. I was like, for kid, they did not want that. What does that say?
Well, it's a good thing. We also have a city ordinance in town within the city limits that forbids any fast food chains from coming in.
So as a business person, how do you feel about that? The growth, the no growth, the middle growth, where are you at with that?
I think that growth is inevitable, but I do like the small town feel of our little community. But we're already growing as a county. There's not too much space to grow within city limits too much anymore.
Do you feel like Townsend might be? It's not safe because it's not immune from this.
Right.
There's like a huge development proposed for out past me. That's going to be really huge. What do you like? Here's be kind of an interesting thing, and I hope you're okay with me asking you this, but like for somebody new like me coming in, what would be if I sat down with you before I moved here? And I did actually do a show and I asked people, what should I do and what shouldn't I do as a new person coming to Montana? So what would Leanne, you look like you're ready to answer. What would your advice, and be honest, because I think that people need to understand that you're coming into someone else's home.
I feel exactly that way. And I guess you've heard that old saying that come here and accept the ways that we have. If you wanted it, don't come here and make it like there. If you wanted it like there, then go back there. Don't come here and make it like something you left, because then you never left it. You brought it here.
Right. I think what happens a lot of time, what happened in Oregon was a lot of folks, and I have nothing against Californians, but a lot of Californians came in, they kind of ruined their state. They came up to Oregon. They thought, oh, look, here's this great place. And then they brought the same decisions they made down there up to us. And then we turned into that. So then people like me who grew up there have to find someplace else to live. Kim, you are itching to say something. I can just tell on that face.
Well, I was just thinking of all the people that come here with more money than a lot of the people in Montana have. And it's raised all of the rent, all of the prices. And it is forcing a lot of people out of our little community. And it's like they shouldn't. Look at Bozeman. Look at the Flathead Valley. But you can see that happening in Townsend to a certain extent. And it's like, these people only have so much money to live on. We have a lot of retirees living in Townsend. So it's sad that a lot of the people coming here have more money than the people that already live here, and are forcing some of them to move to even smaller communities. If they could.
I was at a housing meeting like months ago. I went, Debbie Randolph, one of the county commissioners, invited me to go, and I went down there. It was fascinating because they said one of the problems is that, like, a lot of retired people can't afford, normally they would probably sell their home and move into something smaller or something different. But they can't afford to because their house is paid for. They can't afford to leave. So then there's no starter homes for people who are trying to start families and start a new home. So it's this really weird cycle of people are kind of stuck.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, and it's not only that, but I mean, our property taxes are raising so much. I mean, just last session, when they raised it 2 years ago, I mean, my property taxes went up $600 for the year. I mean, and that to me is atrocious. I'm on a fixed income. We're retired, and it's scary.
So so we didn't finish. What should I do, Angie or Kim? Because Leanne kind of answered. What is the thing that to come in? And I always use the word when I talk to people as I came here to assimilate. So I'm being really careful, and I'm trying to listen to people and trying not to, there's, not to bring up issues or think, hey, what we need in this town is this, or, it's like coming in and kind of feeling it out and see what you tell me what we need in this town.
Well, and that's exactly what I did. I left Tampa, millions of people in the city there, and we moved here, and I wanted to pretty much assimilate, and I wanted to become part of a community. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to open the bakery. And I think it's one of the best things that I've ever done in my life, because I've met so many great people by doing that.
And I think the mixing and mingling, you come in, you learn the community, you learn the events, because there's several of them. You go to those events, you meet your neighbors, you just kind of mix and mingle and become part of the community without coming in and saying, well, I'm going to get on the council and I'm going to change this, or, change that, do something. That's the biggest turnoff ever. But if you come and you meet people and you become part of that community, you're going to do well.
What I think is awesome about Montanans is even though you're nervous when new people come in, and I know, everybody, it's really funny when somebody wrote me something. And I make mistakes all the time, and I love to be educated. And I just called the people out there Hooterites, and they're Amish people. There's an Amish community out just outside of Townsend, and I call them Hooterites. People corrected me, and then one person came on and was asking me, and I said, so where do you live? And they said, oh, on River Road. And I said, oh, well, we live up on Sand Hill. And she goes, oh, everybody knows where you live. I was like,
I want to say I didn't know where you lived until a couple months ago.
Well, I just thought that was really funny. My wife and I said, so yeah, because it's so small. But people, even though they're nervous about people coming in and stuff, you are the most gracious people. Like there's no like this. It's people say things. You know what I mean? They talk to you. We went to the rodeo when we were only here for about a month, and we went to the rodeo, and people were coming up and going, oh, I saw your podcast. I saw you talk. And I mean, people were really kind and nice, and we just feel really welcomed here. I mean, and
Good.
yeah, and I think you're a very warm community like that. And I sometimes I think people get mad at me because one lady got mad because I was like talking to Kathy, and I went to your swimming pool. And it was all kids. There were no adults except maybe a couple moms. It's still a town small enough. They just drop the kids off, let them go to the pool. They go home and do some work, and then come back and pick them up. And so we're in the pool, and this little girl comes up to me, and she's like 10, and she sees my wife and me because we're the only adults in the pool, and she says, are you guys new? And I went, yeah. And she goes, well, welcome.
Aww.
And Kathy, I'm like, where are we? I wrote something about that, and some lady came on, don't tell everybody that we leave our kids at the pool. But it's like, because we're so excited that it's so old fashioned. That's not the word I'm looking for. It's so authentic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are very authentic. And I know that somebody told me, even if they don't like you and you need coffee, they'll give you coffee. So far, I haven't heard anything bad about me not getting any coffee. So what do you hope for Montana? That's a big question.
I hope that it doesn't get so overpopulated that the people who are born and raised here or came here to have a good life don't get pushed out. We need to find a way to keep the people here that have been here a way to stay. That's what I hope, is they don't get pushed out of our state.
Angie?
Yeah, I just hope that it doesn't get so big that we lose our sense of community.
Mm-hmm.
And that authentic,
Yeah.
like you were discussing.
Yeah. It's almost like, you know, I mean, the governor keeps having task force. I am happy about it. I hope he gets that property tax relief thing. That's kind of
Yes.
you don't hear those words in Oregon. it's like what, $2,000 back on my property taxes? What? You know? But I wish the governor, there's a lot of little social issues they all get involved in, and I'm so sick of that. I think there should be a commission in Montana to see how do we keep everybody, you know, Oregon and all these other places have overgrown and done too much. So how do you grow and yet people still let people have their property rights? You know what I mean? That's this battle of, I want to develop my property, but how do you do it smart? You know what I mean? So everybody doesn't, you know what I mean? And I know it's a hard conversation in Montana because you bring up, what's the word? I'm trying to think of it. Zoning. The big zoning word. That's a nasty word. It is for me too, because I think people should be allowed to do what they want to do. I hate HOAs, you know, in housing developments. You know, if I want to put a purple door on my house, screw you. It's none of your business. I may have bad taste, but that's not illegal, you know? And that was one of the things Kathy and I were looking for in a house, is we did not want HOAs so that you have neighbors telling on neighbors, you know, and then that's becoming a thing in Montana. It's hard to find property without some kind of HOA thing. The covenants you can kind of get around.
Right.
So as a Lions Club, how many members do you have?
Last I knew, I think we were about 28, 29.
That sounds about.
And I think we've got a few new members that are getting ready, that have shown interest to come in.
And you've got a Rotary Club,
Mm-hmm.
you have a Chamber of Commerce.
Correct.
Is there anything I'm missing? Oh, there's also a tourism group that meets once a month in Townsend, Montana.
Yeah, we have the American Legion.
Okay. So this Derby, what time does it start on Saturday?
I believe, let me look here, 7 a.m., 7 o'clock, and it ends at 2 o'clock.
Okay. All right. And then Sunday, it starts at?
8:30 a.m. and it ends at 1:30.
And here is a very Montana thing. When I asked him, so how do people get tickets? And she says, oh, most people just show up and you just buy the tickets. That is Montana. That is, it's not, well, you can go here, here, and here in the ticket outlet store and da-da-da-da. What you do is you just get your fishing garb, get your four-wheeler, and get your good attitude and maybe a little beer, maybe stop and pick up a couple dozen donuts while you're going by the bakery. And then you go out there and you meet people. And I'll tell you what, we had no trouble getting fishermen to talk to us. Of course, Joe has a way with people. He'd go up first and he had them all buttered up by the time I got there, you know.
Probably because he knows everyone.
Yeah, Joe, he knows everybody. And that's one thing I think I really love about Townsend is people really do know each other, take care of people. You know what I mean? I mean, you feel like if something happened to you, even as a newbie, I feel like if something happened to my wife or me or something, that there'd be people on my doorstep. My neighbor next door, Kim is my neighbor next door. She's up there. But Kim next door, I won't say it publicly because I don't want to get, but she came down the other day and she brought us a little present and said, I'm sorry I haven't been down and I would have normally made you a pie and all this stuff and I can't stay long. Well, she came in the front door and an hour later we were saying goodbye. It was like such a charming, fun conversation. Yeah. It was like, you know, that is Montana. And I love that about you guys. So Kathy and I'll be heading out there. I'll be in the morning on Saturday to grab a little video, maybe do a little live or something to show people.
Nice.
All right. Leanne, it was nice meeting you.
You also.
Angie, I will come get your coffee, but I am going to resist your donuts with everything. I'll work
You
out.
say that now.
You
say that now.
Yeah, she's going to dangle them as I drive by the window. She'll be going like this.
Yeah.
I did hear that you don't charge for the fat in your donuts, though. They're fat-free, right?
Yeah, fat-free.
Fat-free donuts.
They are delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe like just a couple,
Okay.
you know.
I'll get you started.
I told them before the show that my fear of donuts is that it's like I eat one and then it'd be like, oh my God, it's been so long since I've had a donut. I'd just be like, hey, you should have a gorging donut contest at the fall festival and then I can enter and then I'll be so sick afterwards I won't eat donuts for a year.
Oh, wow. That's something. We should tell them about that.
You should do a donut. Who can eat the most donuts in?
Or better yet, Kimmy, we could do corn dogs.
Oh, yeah.
The club has the corn dog wagon at Fall Fest. We could do a corn dog eating contest.
I could eat a ton of corn dogs, even though they're really not that great for you. But
oh yeah,
you know what?
So good.
Yeah, don't you laugh. I'll put you. You want to put your money on it? Something? Tell you what. I'll increase your retirement here.
Ooh, sweet.
All right, ladies. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you.
Thank
Thank you.
See you later. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
All right. So there you go, you guys. This weekend, if you're anywhere in Montana and you want to go ice fishing with a bunch of really fun people, and you're helping the Lions Club at the same time, and you're helping people who need assistance with hearing difficulties and also sight difficulties, that's what the Lions Club does. And here's just like kind of a personal thing. I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about how, and I'm not picking on you, younger generation, but how the younger generations really are not focused on community as much. And here's a really great way to get involved in your community is to join the Lions, join the Rotary, go in there. And I know I know as young people, you think, oh, those are old people clubs. Well, they're welcoming you. You'd be an asset to them, and you come in and then you get to know the community, you get to do fun things, and all of a sudden you become bigger than yourself. And there's so many people who are very sad, and we hear all these young people who are struggling with depression and anxiety. Well, just a little advice from an old guy that's 63 years old, maybe take some of the focus off of you and put it on other people. That's a really good medicine. And the Lions are just there to offer you a place to do that. So, and that's wherever you live. I mean, you don't have to move to Townsend to be in the Lions. And if you're bringing your attitude with you, you don't need to come. I think we got that message across, didn't we? So anyway, tomorrow night, what's coming on tomorrow? Oh my gosh, I left my calendar down at my new office. This is going to be a challenge for me because I was down there and what would I read on that thing? I know Thursday's bill and the weather. I got something coming up tomorrow, but you know what? Not there. You're just going to have to tune in and find out. That's how it works. Share this on your page. Let other people know what's going on. We do appreciate your business and having you here. And if you're a Townsend or Broadwater County person and you're looking for a way to advertise your stuff out there, give me a call. Get a hold of me. We're here. We're also doing local stuff as well. All right. Night, you guys. See you later. Oh, get Kim out of the bar.